Good morning, or depending on when you're watching this, good afternoon, good evening, or good night. My name's Ross, and as always, told out of Voice of Radio. So today we need to have a little bit of a look at a brand new trading card game that's just been revealed. It's called Union Arena, and it looks awesome. Now, this is a game being made by Bandai. And if nothing else, we can say at the moment that Bandai really know their card games. They are going hard on card games. More on that in a moment. And there are a whole bunch of questions about if this is going to last, if it's going to be successful, if it's even going to see an English language release. But the one thing we can say first of all is, holy moly, this looks awesome. Because if you look at the image on the screen, and you have even a passing interest in anime, you are going to look at that and go, well, hang on a second, that looks like Hunter x Hunter and My Hero Academia and Demon Slayer. Hang on a second. There are a bunch of different properties that are being represented here. And yes, there are, ladies and gentlemen. Yes, there are. There are a bunch of sets that have already been released. We've already actually got a roadmap of the first 9 sets. I believe the first 9 sets have actually gone and been shown off, which is honestly kind of amazing. So yeah, this is looking awesome. Now, one thing I will say right at the beginning, we don't have a great look at how this card game's going to play. There is a trailer out there that shows a couple of cards, but we're not really going to be getting into the hows and whys and all of that of the game right now, because we don't really have a great look at what the game is or how the game plays. I can tell you there is some kind of evolution mechanic, cards that you play on top of other cards. And that's really about the only thing they showed off in the video. There were weirdly like a lot of little, hey look I'm evolving, hey look I'm evolving, hey look I'm evolving, like little splashes over the video as a whole. But generally speaking, they were playing a card game. We couldn't really see what was going on. That's not really what we're excited about today. We can hopefully get the rules of this soon enough and start talking about what it looks like as a game. What is exciting about this at the moment is bringing together all of these properties. I mean, for my money, I'm looking at this and I'm seeing My Hero Academia. I'm seeing Demon Slayer. And I'm seeing a whole bunch of others. And that is making me think, hang on a second, that looks kind of amazing. And I'm kind of loving it, honestly. However, this is not the first time we've seen this. Because let's not forget that Weiss Schwarz is a game that exists very much in this vein, where it's a bunch of different properties all being rolled into one. Just a day or two ago, I showed you an opening of Star Wars Weiss Schwarz on this channel. And we've talked about Marvel and Pixar before, but there have been a whole bunch of others. And similarly, Build Divide is another game which I have shown you on this channel before, and I've actually done an opening of the Demon Slayer Build Divide on this channel, which is where things get very interesting. We'll dig into that more in a little bit. So my point is, we've got a couple of card games already that do this. So then you get to the question of, well, hang on a second, what makes this different? Why should we believe that this is going to be any better or any more successful? And there are some reasons to think so, and one of them, I'm sorry, is Bandai. Because right now, over in the West, we've got Dragon Ball Super, which seems to be doing alright, and let's face it, they've just announced a digital online version of that game, and frankly, you wouldn't do an online version of a game if it was about to go away. That would be a huge waste of money. We know that Digimon is going, at the moment, at least pretty gosh darn well, both in Japan and in the West. We know that the One Piece card game is absolutely crushing in Japan right now. They cannot print it fast enough, and it's just launched in the West and seems to be at least doing pretty gosh darn successful. And we know that Battle Spirits is also launching next year, although that's Battle Spirits Saga, and that is very much an English reimagining of an existing Japanese game. Battle Spirits as a, just a thing is over in Japan, and that actually does again deal with existing IPs. So, there was a Digimon set of that, for instance. So, there is a question here of, do we need another card game bringing in other properties? And there is a question of whether Bandai can handle another card game given everything that we've already seen. And the answer is, well, hang on a second. They seem to know what they're doing. Dragon Ball's doing all right. Digimon's doing very well. One Piece is doing very well. You've got to imagine that they've got the data and they've got the facts and figures to show them that this is going to work. And as for all the other properties, I mean, look, they have certainly started off, things like Demon Slayer, Bleach, My Hero Academia, Hunter x Hunter. These are not just little fringe anime. These aren't fringe properties that some people have kind of heard of. These are big deals. And this is the initial reveal. This is like the first look we've seen at this. So it's absolutely fair to say there's more coming. On the release schedule, we can see, and the release schedule is packed from the beginning. I have no idea how I'm going to keep up with this. I think for me, I'm just going to pick the odd set here and there to collect rather than all of them for the sake of my wallet. But you'll notice that we've got 9 there that have been shown off, 3 in March, 2 in April, 5 in May, 2 in June, one of which we know, one of which we don't, and then another one in July and August. If anybody's thinking, hang on a second, it does seem to calm down after a really fast start. Again, I don't know if this is all. They might be adding new stuff as we go, but this would actually make sense to launch with, 8 sets in the first 3 months, and then get down to 2 in month 4, and then go to 1 a month, so that you don't overwhelm your player base. That is honestly one of my biggest concerns about this game straight off the bat. They're asking a big investment from people right from the beginning. That is a lot of different stuff going on. So the game as a whole launches, first of all, on the 24th of March, and that is where we see the first few sets. Hunter x Hunter is confirmed for release on the 24th of March. That is a thing that is happening. I'm going to need to watch a lot more anime moving forward, ladies and gentlemen. But we also have confirmation that Code Geass Lelouch of the Rebellion, is also coming out on the 24th of March. That's quite a lot. But that's not all of it, ladies and gentlemen, because we've also got confirmation that Jujutsu Kaisen is coming out on the 24th of March. Those 3 sets are all coming out on the 24th of March. That's a lot to try and get just all going in one go. That is quite a lot. But then it doesn't let up. We then get into April, and straight away we see the launch of one of the sets I'm most excited for, because we got Demon Slayer coming out on the 28th of April. And I've said we've already had the Demon Slayer set in Build Divide. I bought a couple of boxes and the starter deck. Loving that. But then also on the 28th of April, we've got the Idolmaster Shiny Colors coming as well, which I'll be honest with you is a property with which I am not familiar, but feel free to say nice things about it in the comment section. We then move into May. Now, May is where we lose the specific release dates. We just have the window of May, but in May, Tales of Arise is getting a set. I've heard good things about that. Bleach is getting a set. That is one that I think a lot of people are going to find quite popular. And then we've also got Reincarnated as Slime. Shout out to a bunch of lovely people on Twitter for helping me identify some of these. Poppy, Abel Zaps, Andrew Peng, Summer, and Shay Brider. Thank you for answering my tweets. Most of these I got by myself, but I'll be honest with you, Reincarnated as Slime, yeah. Didn't get that one, ladies and gentlemen. I am not familiar with all of these. I apologize, but it's still pretty gosh darn cool. And then in June, we've got My Hero Academia, which is one I am familiar with, one I have started watching. And let's not forget that we have got My Hero Academia made by Jasco Games, part of the UVS system. And I did an opening of that a little while ago on this channel. Lovely folks in Jasco were nice enough to send me some boxes of the 3rd set. And that leads me into my final point here, and this is the big question. Is this going to get an English release? And the answer is, I don't know. And there are reasons for optimism. Remember when Digimon was initially revealed, it was revealed as a Japan-only game, and it was about 6 months later they confirmed it was going to get an English release. Remember that Bandai are having a lot of success with TCGs in the West at the moment, with Dragon Ball Super, with Digimon, with One Piece, and hopefully with Battle Spirit Saga, which is going to be launching early next year. And if Bandai are having a lot of success with TCGs in the West, and they've got this really cool new TCG that's doing well over in Japan, you've got to think they're going to bring it over. Now, it is very much worth noting that when One Piece was revealed, it was revealed as a worldwide card game, and Union Arena seems to have been revealed as a Japan-only game for the time being. And that is very, 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 very important. Essentially, with Digimon, they wanted to wait and see. It did well. They gave it an English release. With One Piece, they went straight from the beginning as worldwide. Here, it might be Japan only, or they might be waiting and seeing. The issue here is with licensing. So if we take a look at Demon Slayer, for instance, I've already told you that Build Divide had a Demon Slayer set. Well, that was in Japan, and this is in Japan. So essentially the way it works is quite simple. The rights holders for Demon Slayer sold the rights to Build Divide, or, license them to Build Divide to make a set, and they're doing the same to Bandai for Union Arena. Job's a good one. But the issue comes with things like in the West with My Hero Academia, because Jasco Games is making My Hero Academia as a TCG over here. And you've got to imagine, and I don't know, I did teach law and business for many years, but to really understand this, you need to see the agreement, and shockingly, I don't have a copy of the agreement. That would be weird. But you've got to imagine that the contract Jasco Games signed had a clause in it saying no one else will be given the rights to make a TCG of My Hero Academia in the US and Europe. And it would be really weird. The only way that wouldn't be in the contract is if the rights holders flatly refused and Jasco Games went ahead with it anyway. Because there is no way any competent lawyer doesn't ask for that clause to be in the contract. One thing that's really interesting, I told you about those Weiss Schwarz sets earlier on, the Marvel, and there was a Star Wars, there was a Pixar, all of which are Disney-owned properties, all of which came out in Japan already, none of which have been announced for an English-language release. And Weiss Schwarz is a game that exists in Japan and over here. But essentially, the answer is Disney can give the rights to them in Japan, but either can't or won't give the rights to them in England and the US and Europe, etc. So we could see a similar thing with Weiss Schwarz, where some of the sets come over here and some of the sets don't. I have got to imagine there are licensing issues which are going to stop sets like My Hero Academia coming over, but I could be wrong. It could be very much like Demon Slayer, where there's just a couple of games getting them, but Jasco Games have gone hard into My Hero Academia and really kind of spun it off as its own game from the existing system they've got. So this, to me, is a very interesting question. Either way, we've got a really fun TCG based on a whole bunch of cool licenses, and I'm going to be here to show you all the news as it comes out, as I tend to do. So stick with me, ladies and gentlemen. This one is very, very exciting. So there we go. I'm excited. I want to know how excited you are, and I want to know which of these properties you're excited about. So let me know in the comment section. Go nuts. Be nice. And then make sure you like this video, subscribe to this channel, follow me on Twitter at TheWasi. That's where we talk about, well, a whole bunch of card games, including apparently now this. And please do consider checking out patreon.com/PTCGradio, where you can support the channel, get some bonus podcasts, join a Discord and chat with us, all kinds of fun things. But by far the most important thing, as always, look after yourselves till next time, would ya? Thank you very much for watching. My name's Ross, and you've been watching Wasi Plays.